Welcome to Top 10 Archive. We've already done our top picks for mythical creatures we're glad don't exist. But what about those creatures that are just so cool? We'd all love if they actually existed. That's the topic of discussion, so join us as we count down our picks of the top 10 mythical creatures we wish existed. Number 10. Daitengu, Japanese. Said to make their homes in the high remote mountains of Japan, Daitengu appear as human-like beings with large feathered wings that sprout from their backs. Their faces are red with a long and phallic nose and often dressed in the robes of a monk. The Daitengu spends its time mostly in meditation, in the pursuit of self-perfection. Daitengu possess a greater wisdom, pride, and power in comparison to that of the lesser Tengu. Some Daitengu will occasionally be willing to help any human they deem worthy who have ventured into the mystic wilds to seek their guidance. And even less often, it was said that the best among those lucky enough to meet with the Daitengu often departed with the gift of their magical knowledge. Number 9. Unicorns, fairies. The origin of the unicorn is unknown and has been described since antiquity. They have appeared in Mesopotamian artworks, seals of the Indus Valley Civilization, the myths of India and China, Greek literature, and the Bible. All describe it as a beast with a single spired horn coming from its head. Within the Greek bestiary, the Physiologus, it describes unicorns as being strong, fierce animals that could only be caught when a virgin maiden was thrown before it. The unicorn would commonly be described as a majestic white horse with a single horn upon its head, and is considered to be a symbol of purity and grace. The horn of the unicorn is also said to have special medicinal powers or magical properties that can purify tainted water or even cure diseases. Number 8. Leprechauns, Irish. Depending on where in Ireland he was found, the leprechaun originally had different appearances and wore red instead of green. They started as fairies, eventually taking the form of small old men that were witty and mischievous, but enjoyed living in solitude. Leprechauns were generally considered shoemakers and were always associated with wealth. If you were able to capture a leprechaun, interrogate it thoroughly, and if it can't escape your grasp, he would be forced to divulge the location of his gold for his freedom. References make note that the leprechaun's wealth derived from treasure crocks buried of old in wartime. Number 7. Phoenix, fairies. Although many cultures' interpretations of the phoenix have subtle differences, it is always a bird with a plumage of colors that represents fire, such as yellow, orange, red, and gold. Its most common aspect was the ability to resurrect. Dying in a self-created fire and burning in a pile of ashes, the new phoenix chick was born. Their lifespans vary between 500 to over 1,000 years old. The Oriental version of the phoenix was immortal, but only appeared in times of peace and prosperity. Needless to say, if you could earn the respect of such a majestic bird, you would have a pet for life. Number 6. Griffin, Greek. Considered to be powerful, noble creatures, griffins are known in Egyptian, Greek, Persian, and English mythology. They had the head, wings, and front claws of an eagle, and the body, tail, and hind legs of a lion. Griffins were thought to be the king of all creatures, due to lions being associated as the king of beasts, and the eagle the king of birds. They guarded priceless possessions and treasures, and were believed to mate for life, reinforcing the church's view against remarriage. Associated with power and wisdom, many medieval families used the griffin on their coat of arms. Number 5. Menehune, Polynesian. The Menehune or Menehune were people of dwarf proportions, with some only standing 6 inches or 15 centimeters in height, while others grew to 2 feet or 61 centimeters. Dwelling in the deep forest and hidden valleys of the Hawaiian Islands, they were considered superior craftsmen and built temples, fish ponds, roads, canoes, and houses. They were said to come out at night to play tricks on people, but also helped when the situation called for it. They loved consuming bananas and fish, and had a fondness of dancing, singing, and sports, one of which was diving off of cliffs into the surf. Another being archery. Menehune had a magic arrow that could pierce an angry man's heart and make them feel love instead. Number 4. Dokkaebi, Korean. Having many different forms, the Dokkaebi are commonly shown as demonic or goblin-like, with horns and misshapen faces. They tend to reside in abandoned places or isolated areas, and are mischievous tricksters and fond of games, often challenging passers-by to shiram, a type of Korean wrestling, just for the right to pass. Dokkaebi often steal from the greedy and reward good people with wealth and blessings. Each Dokkaebi have their own hat that grants invisibility and a club that allows them to summon anything they want. Number 3. Brownie, English. Oftentimes depicted as either fairies or hobgoblin-like creatures, brownies are said to have inhabited houses, often within the attic or holes in the walls. They are helpful, often aiding in the chores needing to be done around the house, though usually this is done in exchange for small gifts of food, porridge with honey being the brownies' favorite. They don't like to be seen, so they would work in the middle of the night while the household would sleep. If taken advantage of or disrespected by calling their gifts a payment, they would leave the house and abandon it forever. Brownies rarely talk to humans, preferring the conversation and company of their own. Number 2. Kapre, Philippines. Characterized as a tree demon, they stood 7 to 9 feet tall and produced a strong smell that would get the attention of any human. They're not evil, but they do enjoy getting travelers lost, confusing people in familiar surroundings, gambling, drinking, smoking, and playing pranks. Kapre are invisible and will only reveal themselves when they want to be seen. They often make contact when they are attracted to a woman or just want to offer their friendship. When you obtain their friendship, you will always be able to see the Kapre, and if you sit on them, others will see them as well. Some myths state that Kapre carry a beautiful white stone with them, and if you manage to obtain it, they will grant you a wish. Number 1. Qilin, Chinese. Only appearing during the reign of a great emperor or shortly after the birth of or death of a great sage, Qilin are terrifying to behold. They have the body of a deer, ox, or horse, are covered in fish scales, and are often enveloped by fire. Their head takes the form of the Chinese dragon, but this has been known to vary. Some are even depicted with a single horn or antlers. Despite this, legends describe Qilin as a gentle, peaceful creature that trots on clouds to avoid harming the grass. They also like to help good people, especially those who did good deeds and fulfilled their duties. They were capable of harm, but only to punish the wicked or defend the innocent. Do you have an idea for a future Top 10 video? Let us know in the comments section below. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and our website, top10archive.net. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your family and friends.